Reflections of Purpose.
Hello, thanks so much for joining us. It's Twisted Threads. My name is Karen Sims, and you've joined us for another episode of Reflections of Purpose. As always, we want to remind you to like and share this video with folks in your corner. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you keep up to date with our Reflections of Purpose and keep fueling your everyday purpose on a continual basis. So we always try to get right into our topics. And today's topic is don't shrink yourself. Don't shrink yourself. I love this topic because it's a reminder, and the opposite of shrinking yourself is being big. So being big, many of us don't know how to do it. We haven't had daily declarations, or maybe we've had positive things that we say to ourselves, but then somebody will say, oh my goodness, you're so beautiful, and you'll be like, oh, I just got my lashes done, or wow, you're so brilliant. Oh, no, I'm not. Like, we have been accustomed to putting ourselves down, and I love it because, and I'm not going to remember everybody's name, but in Why Did I Get Married, Jill Scott's character, when she was falling in love with her, going to be husband, who I just think is fine. And I thank the Lord for the blessing of him walking on the earth. But she would always say bad things about herself. And in her mind, she would say, well, I'm going to say the bad things before somebody else says it. And so, and I think his name is Lamar. I can't remember his name. Oh my gosh, now I got to go back. But anyway, he would say to her, forget what his name and the character in the movie. He would say to her, don't do that. Because that makes me uncomfortable when I'm looking to support you in a positive way, but you always say something negative about yourself. Now, I don't know how many of us are like that. Maybe we don't know how to take a compliment, to say you are gifted in a particular area, to say, I think that you really do a great job with that. And you just in your corner. You don't have to sound like anybody else. You don't have to hit notes like Whitney or be able to riff like Patty. Maybe, your voice sounds more like, I don't know who, Fred Sanford versus somebody else, But when you think about the talent that you have and the positive aspect that you bring, positive daily reminders to say positive declarations to yourself. So you could say them to your children, you're wonderful, you're great, you're brilliant. Maybe you go into the office and you say things like, today is a wonderful day. It's going to be a great day. One of our taglines here at Twisted Threads is make it an amazing day. And we say that because you got an opportunity to do that on purpose. But if you're always shrinking yourself, there's never an opportunity for people to celebrate you, even in your normal state. So give yourself baby steps. Give yourself an opportunity to first be okay with being regular. Yeah, because you don't go from small to supersize without some steps. There are steps from going from small to supersize. So not shrinking yourself. You got to get back to an attitude of gratitude. We say that often here because it literally opens up an opportunity. So what? We hear people say things about closed mouths don't get fed, but guess what? A closed hand can neither give or receive. So while you open your hand to give, it's also coming back to you because your hand is already open. So it's kind of like we used to say baddest man slapped my hand. Well, that always caused issue because what you got was more than what you bargained for. But when you move forward in your life and you think about the things that you want to make positive change for, not shrinking yourself becomes necessary. And so I love it because I had a few of my girlfriends and they've got their own things that they're doing to empower people in their places in the world. And the question came of they were looking for, I believe they were looking for coaches and life coaches. And I put my name down. And my sister V, she was like, wait a minute, how come I didn't know this? And it was like, well, I'm just kind of maneuvering behind the scenes. And her question, and then one of my other friends, Caroline, came in like, yeah, how come I didn't know that? Well, I shared it with few people because as we started kind of blossoming, whether you want to call it the onion or the flower, there are layers to this. And so we hear that a lot. You know, you're leveling up, you're doing all the things to live your life in a different way. But it also has to be an opportunity for you to be comfortable with you being big. So some people are okay with you as long as you're small. And I've had this conversation several times over the last couple of weeks about people not going to be comfortable with me branching out. So I shared that message with you. Don't stay small just because the people around you won't be comfortable. Like you're making room for more by being big. When you shrink yourself, you also shrink the way for other people around you. So you got to be mindful of the reason why. If you're looking for a reason, if you're looking for a why, don't shrink yourself because there's somebody else who needs to know how you do it. They're watching you. So maybe it's your children, maybe it's your nieces and nephews, maybe it's your grandchildren, maybe it's a spouse. They might be waiting for you to show love and they're like, well, I'm going to show them some love as soon as they show me some love. I'm not really sure how that works, but somebody's got to go first. And as you go first and continue to be big, you give other people around you the permission to be big with you. You see, the circle of success that I have around me, none of the people in my circle are small. But there are certain times where we've got sisters who are like, yeah, I'm good. I have one sister who always tells a story about how she saw us being great and thought, this is so wonderful to be in this circle. While meanwhile, we're thinking in our mind, can't wait for her to break out. Why? Because she's in this circle. So if everybody in the circle is being great, that means she's a part of the greatness, not by default, but because she's great. And in her own time, the doors opened and the opportunities came. And she walked in them because she was comfortable with seeing big, and so she was okay with being big. That's an important lesson for us to learn. Don't shrink yourself. We say a lot of times, you know, we've got a topic on don't disqualify yourself. We'll talk a lot more about the imposter syndrome, where we teach ourselves how to shrink ourselves back. And I'm one who I want us to be transparent about the conversations that we have. I want us to be transparent about the lessons that are going to go before. And you pick and choose which ones work for you. Maybe this one is not something that you have a challenge in. Maybe you don't shrink yourself. Maybe you might need to be smaller so somebody else could be big, because that's a challenge sometimes too. When you check yourself for balance in your life, you get the opportunity to say, I'm big, but am I making room for others around me to be big? You can't make anybody make the choice to step into greater for themselves. But sometimes you may demotivate somebody because there's no room where you are. Now, if you are in that situation and you're around people who don't give you room to be big, move. Whether it's moving to another state, moving to another job, moving within your family, you know, that Ludacris song, and I would say it all the time. When I move, you move. Just like that. So if there is somebody who's in my corner and you see me moving, this is your time to come on and make your move. Don't wait. Don't shrink yourself. Don't cancel out the good stuff. Make it a practice to cancel out the negative voices in your life that are telling you, no, you can't. And if that's you, remember to tell yourself to shut up. Shut up and then recalibrate the things that you need to be saying for yourself so that it's a positive message that you are sharing with yourself on a daily basis. Don't be small. The world is waiting for you. And if you enter in as a small ripple, hey, that's cool. Just don't shrink back. Don't shrink yourself. Don't be small for other people around you. And that means that you got to move forward without apology. Move forward and be big on purpose without apologies or explanation for people around you. Hopefully that was good for you. That was something else for me, because I have the great reminder to remember to be big and to motivate other people to be big as well. Don't shrink yourself. This is Twisted Threads. I'm so glad that you joined us today for your reflection of purpose. You could blame me. If you don't know who else to blame, say, Karen said, Twisted Threads said, don't shrink yourself in that I should be big. You have an amazing day. And what? Make it an amazing day on purpose. Be great.
Reflections of purpose.